With that, I'm going to hand it over to the superintendent. Mr. Superintendent, will you please kick us off on the celebration?
Yes, Madam Chair. This year's retirement celebration is a hybrid one with some folks here and others virtual. But let me begin by saying that our gratitude to all of our retirees is very, very real. Collectively, they have given more than 800 years of dedicated service to the Portland Public Schools. Our 34 retirees that we're honoring here today include longtime teachers, educational technicians, bus assistants and custodians, maintenance workers, a secretary, cafeteria workers, a community coordinator, a mentor coordinator, and our facilities coordinator, as well as the executive director of Portland Adult Education. Whatever your role, you have all worked to make a difference in the lives of our students. We can't thank you enough. Most of you are retiring at this time, but some of you retired earlier this school year, and a few will be with us for a few more weeks before formally leaving. We're using this opportunity to formally honor you all now. Our building leaders or other supervisors will tell us a little bit about each of our retirees, and as a small token of our thanks, each person will receive a retirement gift. This is always a bittersweet event as we combine our gratitude for your years of contribution with the realization that as you leave, we're losing a wealth of knowledge, expertise, and commitment. Inevitably, every year during our budget process, we hear comments about the fact that 80% of our budget goes to salaries and benefits for our staff. Those of us who work in schools know that is because we are ultimately a people business. Without the greatest team of people, we wouldn't be able to do any of what we do. Our Portland Promise recognizes that people are our greatest resource, and this group is further evidence of that. Dear colleagues, you've made us what we are, and we are forever in your debt. Enjoy your retirement and come back to see us, or more if you're up to it. Thank you for all that you've done for the students and families in the Portland Public Schools. And now I'm going to turn it over to Executive Director for Communications and Community Partnerships, Grace Valenzuela, who is going to be the Master of Ceremony. Grace.
Good evening, everybody. Congratulations to all our retirees. The retirement gift that Portland Public School gives to all our retiring employees will be delivered to the schools or offices where they are located. And for tonight, we will get a glimpse of the character of each of our retirees and with words from their supervisors, administrators. Just a note of organization. The slides are organized alphabetically by school and department, and alphabetically by name of staff. So we will ask the administrator or supervisor of the retiring employee to introduce their retiring staff member. And the retiring staff member could say a few words after they're introduced. And to start us off, we are going to do the first shout out from Deering High School.
Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can, yes.
Oh, great. Thank you. So I'm Allison Dame. I'm one of Deering's 2 co-principals, and I'm honored to be here tonight to celebrate 4 amazing educators from Deering. To start tonight, Roy Chatterjee came on board in 2013 to start a mentorship program for us from the ground up. In 8 short years, it has served over 700 Deering students, and that doesn't include the many, many ninth graders who decided to tag along when their friend went to see their senior mentor. So the impact has really been massive on our community. Students often use mentoring in their capstones. And so we've gotten a lot of feedback from students over the years about what it's meant to them. And some common themes are leadership skills, communication skills, empowerment for the older students when they experience helping a younger student succeed, empathy and understanding for both, and responsibility. Famously, you see that icon there, that mentoring pass meant that they could wander the campus because we knew they were doing good work. And Roy himself, I just want to say, not only has done this very impressive thing of building this project from scratch, but is just someone who's truly present always with students and for whom learning never stops. And I think his belief that students are always going to teach him really became part of the DNA of the mentorship program, where the whole community understood that we had a lot to learn from one another if we took the time to talk to one another. So a truly precious contribution to Deering, and really, again, bittersweet for us, but we hope the best for Roy. Okay, Susan Coughlin did not want her picture shown, so I respected that, but we did want to take a moment to shout out. She has been an ed tech for 9 years in Portland Public Schools. She's worked around the district in several places, but Deering was lucky to have her for the last 4 years. Susan will work with any student and is always a sought after resource for all of our programs. I was lucky. I observed her a couple times this year in our algebra program, helping a student really access that program. And the student actually, I watched over the course of the semester, become one of the most active participants in the class, thanks to Susan's constant, quiet, but super supportive presence. One way that we know students really appreciate her work is that she's called out to be someone that they really want in the audience at graduation to recognize her contribution to their achievements. And so we've been so grateful for her steadfast support over these past 4 years and 9 years in the district. Okay. The next two are some giants at Deering just because of their sheer length of service, among other things. Deb Fournier has been with Portland Public Schools since 1983 for 39 years. Deb has worked with our FLS program with some of our most vulnerable students, but one of her trademark approaches is that she is thinking about student strengths coming from an asset-based place, and really always reminding us of what they have to contribute to our community. This program is not an easy one to work in. It takes a certain temperament and strength. And not only has Deb brought that temperament and strength for 39 years, but it's because of her leadership in the center of this program that I think our tremendous teaching and ed tech team is feels like meaning in their work and confidence that it's going to be okay, and shows up day after day to provide a really consistent and joyful environment for these students. And Deb, I know you're here. I want you to know that when I talk to people around the building, they see you as a mentor on their hard days. They may not tell you this, but they're like, if Deb can show up and do this every day, then I can do it too. So she's really just, it's like spread strength throughout the whole school, and just like an absolutely tremendous amount of service to Portland Public Schools. So thank you so, so much, Deb, and you won't be forgotten anytime soon. And then finally, Larry Nichols. This is a tricky one because one of the things Larry is known for is giving prank retirement speeches in which he starts off sort of positive, but then takes a twist, and it's always very funny and well meant. I'm not able to do that. And so I'm sorry, Larry, that I can't give that gift back to you. But with sincerity, Larry has been here since 1986, another just phenomenal record of service. He started in special education, but more recently has taught multimedia and tech. He's coached a number of sports, including state championship winning tennis, boys basketball and volleyball. And he, is always there to provide some levity and a moment of surprise. I think, if there were a faculty yearbook, I think he would have a long record of winning faculty clown if that were, an award we gave out. But that sense of humor was really used to bring community together for our staff. And so, absolutely will be a missed character around town and someone very respected by his colleagues. So thank you so much, Larry.
Allison, any one of your staff wish to say anything?
I got nervous when you started to talk about character. And I would just like to say that Deb Eaton, Deb Fournier, she's just irreplaceable. And I've watched her just do, the job every day. It's just been impressive. So while I try to find humor in a lot of things, there's nothing humorous about someone who's just the best. So Deb, thanks for being a rock for everyone. And Allison, I appreciate your dilemma. I'll work with you on this.
Thank you.
Wanted to say thank you so much. I'm going to miss everyone. I'm going to miss the kids. I'm going to miss my colleagues. It's been wonderful having the support of administration and everyone that I work with. And it's been quite a journey. And thank you for the kind words, Allison and Larry. Appreciate it.
Thank you both so much.
Thank you. Our next shout out is for King Middle School retirees.
Caitlin is behind you.
Thanks, Grace. As Allison said, this is also certainly a bittersweet moment for me personally and the entire KMS community. Melissa Ross, as the quote here says, is at the heart and soul of teaching and learning at King. She's an amazing educator, and we will truly miss her. Melissa embodies the qualities that we want all teachers to possess in Portland Public Schools. She's been in Portland schools for 29 years. 16 of those years have been at King as an English language arts teacher, and she finished her last year with us as an ed tech. In those 16 years, she has brought her love and enthusiasm for teaching to the halls of King every single day. I've seen that firsthand as a co-teacher, as a parent of a student that Melissa taught, and as a school leader. The long-lasting positive impact that Melissa has had on students, her colleagues, and the overall spirit and culture of King has truly been felt. She exudes positivity. Someone recently told me, "You just need Melissa Ross to follow you around, Caitlin." And she has really the innate ability to connect with students and instill in them a sense of purpose and inspiration. Ironically, today she emailed the entire King staff, and in her own words to our staff, she actually described herself perfectly, to a T, in fact. She said, "Thank you for being colleagues who respect students, embrace new learning, care about racial justice, bring positive energy to our school every day, and know how to laugh and play." Melissa has modeled that for us every single day. She will forever be a part of the King crew, and we are super excited for their new adventures that await her as she moves to Montana with her husband to build a new home and take on new adventures. So thanks, Melissa. We love ya.
Melissa, would you like to say something?
Yeah, Caitlin, thanks for making me cry. Thank you so much. It's been a joy and a pleasure, and I couldn't have asked for a better place to work and teach and watch students grow. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Lincoln Middle School, and Audrey Cabral will speak in behalf of Lincoln retirees.
Good evening. I think I was chosen for my longevity in the building. Thank you for asking me to speak tonight. I'm the band director at Lincoln, and this is my 32nd year at Lincoln and my 33rd year in Portland. So the first retiree is Shelley Burek. Shelley taught computer science at Portland High School for 15 years and has been the computer science teacher at Lincoln for the past 12. She's been the advisor to Future Business Leaders of America, the Portland chapter, for 15 years. She has been the building technology coordinator for 11 years, at Lincoln, as well as the advisor for the technology club. She was on the leadership team for 4 years, and she coached field hockey and tennis for 2. During the school year last year, I spent so much time getting to know Shelley as we were, for the first time, hallmates, as well as had the same schedule. Previously, we would say hello as we passed in the halls, but last year she was so helpful with any technology issues I would have, and she never minded that I came in with what I'm sure she considered as questions that I probably should know. And I just always used the excuse, I've always done band. Her smile and her positive outlook is infectious. I know that her retirement will be filled with her family's, friends, golf, and travel. And Shelley, I hope it's all that you deserve, and I will miss you, and I know Lincoln will miss you. So the best to you. The next retiree is Phyllis Haye. In 1998, Phyllis was hired as a partnership developer at Baxter Elementary School, if you remember that school, which is now the Ocean Avenue. In 2002, she moved to Lincoln and Presumscott, and same job, but it was called the community coordinator, from which she is now retiring. In 2009 through 2014, she served as a service learning coordinator for Lincoln, with the additional hours being paid through grant funding. And she also has trained and collaborated with Kids Consortium. She has been instrumental, no pun intended, in working with volunteers, grooming and beautifying the grounds at Lincoln through the Day of Caring. And I couldn't come up with a number of years, but I know that's been a long time. She is so supportive of all the teachers in securing grants and volunteers. And I know that she will be missed, not only in your job, Phyllis, but just being around the building. I've enjoyed seeing Phyllis throughout the many years. We have worked together, and some days I run into her at Lincoln, and other days, whatever schools we have shared over the years. I love your laugh, and you are such an easy person to have a great conversation with. So Phyllis, as you look forward to this new phase in your life, may it be filled with fun and family. The next retiree is Rob, and I really can say that, Rob, I have known you pretty much all my time in Portland schools. You started as a teacher in science in 1992, and you are truly a staple of Lincoln Middle School. You started the student-led conferences many years ago, which continue to this day. Rob has also been the leader in and involved with numerous service learning projects. One can always hear the passion that you have for teaching in general and science. You care deeply about the environment and how we treat the planet. You will truly be missed. Rob, it will be a new experience for me as I enter Lincoln in the fall. And I won't see you, I won't hear you playing the mandolin, and I will miss your smile, your sage advice and your thoughtfulness. And I just have always just enjoyed being around you. Please enjoy your time with your family and friends and keep those musical instruments playing and strumming and keep being used. Keep being you. I'm sorry. And please, Rob, maybe if you plan to come back to Lincoln, don't shave your beard because I'm not sure we would recognize you. And the last retiree is David. David, again, I feel like I've known you my whole time at Lincoln. And I'm guessing that you taught science for 30 years plus at Lincoln. Your knowledge of science and the environment and your passion for teaching was always immense. Your patience, your kindness with staff and students alike was just incredible. And I was in awe of how calm you always were in every situation I had seen you in. You are the penultimate team player. You listen to colleagues and students alike, always with that calmness that I envied and with an open mind. You were the first teacher who, I believe you were the first teacher who brought fish tanks into Lincoln. You maintained and you cared for them. And I know I loved walking around the buildings and stopping in to see what new fish and other water creatures you might have in there. When there were field trips to Peaks Island, you were the best tour guide. I miss you. I already miss not seeing you around the building. It just is not the same. Your quiet demeanor and your wry smile was always so reassuring. So David, I wish you the best in your retirement of health and happiness.
Phyllis, do you want to say something?
Hi. Yeah, it's been a pleasure and a privilege to work with all the community coordinators who I've got to collaborate with, to work with all the amazing teachers in both of my schools, at Lincoln and at Presumpscot. I am continuously awed by where people pull their energy and their strength and their caring from, because we really are quite a rock star district. And I thank you for this privilege of working there. I've enjoyed it.
Thank you. For Longfellow Elementary School.
Mr. Young?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, thank you. Good evening. I'm Terry Young. I'm the principal at Longfellow School, and I have the privilege tonight of honoring Barbara Ardito. Barb has been teaching for 28 years, and I've been fortunate to work with her for the past 8. She's a 3-4 looping teacher, so she stays with her students for 2 years. In talking with the staff feels that she's really been an anchor for us. She brings a calm energy to the school. She always challenges her students to be their best, guides students to overcome challenges. She's an amazing wife, mother, grandmother, and friend, and she's truly irreplaceable. I spoke specifically to a few students, and their responses were, she's great at read-alouds. They shared how we practiced math facts and had donuts on Fridays to celebrate our hard work. And one student said, if you forgot your snack, Mrs. Ardito always has one for you. In talking to colleagues who have worked with Barb for a long time, they see her as a lifelong learner, and they shared that she spent a month in Ireland studying their education system. She has a great sense of humor and is well respected by parents and staff. She's also seen as a great resource for people who are starting out in teaching, and she's always willing to support a colleague. Personally, for me, Barb, I will miss you tremendously. I hope you enjoy time with your family. I've always seen you as such a great teacher, and I've really appreciated the conversations we've had about parenting, because I feel like your kids are a little bit older than mine, but I always was able to get some insights about how to be the best dad I could be. So again, we'll miss you tremendously, and thanks for everything.
Ms. Ardito, would you like to say something?
Well, I'm going to thank you, Terry, now for making me cry as well. But I would like to thank Terry, my fantastic colleagues, and all of the wonderful families at Longfellow that make Longfellow School really what it is, and that is a wonderful place to work. So thank you all.
Thanks, Barb.
Sarah Rubin will do the shout out for Leicester Elementary School retirees.
Hi, we actually have some staff on hand to do our shout outs. Who's the first one up? We have Rachel Landry for Kathy Cooper. Is it Beesnicam? Yep, Kathy Cooper. So if Rachel Bodie is on the call.
Hi, this is Rachel. I'm going to talk a little bit about Kathy Cooper, who is my special education colleague at Leicester. And Kathy teaches in the K-2 level. She's been doing that since I've been there, which is at least the last 8 years. She has a lot of little kids coming in and out. She does a lot of IEP meetings and manages a lot of staff who help the students out in the regular ed setting. Kathy joined Portland Public Schools in 1990. And although soft-spoken, she is mighty and deserves the spotlight. She's a warrior for her students needing advocacy, always sees the strengths of every student, and believes in every student. She's a strong supporter of and mentor to her colleagues, all of us. And while we will miss her patience, good humor, and compassion, we are excited for her next adventures, which will probably include running, walking on the beach, and bike riding on the Eastern Trail. So I've loved working with you, Kathy, all these years, and we will really miss you next year.
And we have Kathy Jewett, who is going to talk about Beesnicam.
Okay, can you go to the next slide? Okay, Wiesna is one of our hardworking ed techs who loves being around kids. And on the next slide, you'll see the kids love being around her too. It's rare to not see Wiesna surrounded by children. Wiesna came to the United States in 1981 and has worked in the Portland Public Schools for the last 35 years. She is dedicated to every single student she works with, and when she's not supporting our PPS students, she spends much of her time supporting her family and friends. And I might just add that we have been the fortunate recipient of many of Wiesna's wonderfully delicious home-cooked treats from her native country. And Wiesna, we will miss that. She will be sorely missed, but has truly earned this next adventure in her life. Thank you, Wiesna, and we wish you all the best.
And finally, Emily Mooney is going to talk about Marita Mckenzie.
So next we have Marita Mckenzie. A few words to describe Marita are generous, strong, kind, patient, accepting, and a mentor. Next slide, please. For over 30 years, Marita has worked tirelessly as an advocate to promote equality and inclusivity within the Portland Public Schools community and beyond. She spent many years on the Adaptive PE Task Force, receiving both the Richard Bartlett Award for Adapted PE and the 2021 Elementary PE Teacher of the Year Award. Marita transforms the lives of many students and helps to make sure that all students' voices are heard across all areas of their lives. Her next adventure is sure to continue to impact children's lives in an immensely positive way. Thank you, Marita, and thank you to all of our Lyseth retirees.
And I just want to echo that. Thank you so much to all of our Lyseth retirees. You've been incredible to work with, and I just have the deepest gratitude for everything that you've given to our community.
Do any of our retirees from Lyseth want to say a few words? I know several of you are in the audience. Don't be shy.
I would like to say that I'm truly grateful and appreciative of Portland schools. I've been in Portland schools for at least 45 years. I've been privileged to teach in every single school, ending up in Lyseth for about the last 30 years. I'm full of compassion for the children and for my coworkers, and I truly will miss them in this next journey that I'm about to embark upon. It's been a wonderful time. I've noticed and participated in so many changes within Portland Public Schools. And I think that although I'm ready to leave, this is a very exciting time for Portland schools. There's a journey that you are on, and you're taking students and all of us to a higher level. And so I just want to say thank you to my coworkers, to all the families in Portland Public Schools. Thank you.
Thank you, Marita. Visna? Can we unmute Visna?
Yes.
Greg, can you unmute Visna, please?
She's able to unmute.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, there we go.
Okay.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, I would like to say after, working 35 years with Portland Public School, and my last school that I work with is Lyseth Elementary School as an ed tech, I have an opportunity to work with, many great teachers, administrators, and students. And I enjoy working with them and love, teaching those students in the classroom, even with the whole group or one-on-one as well. And it made me feel very happy to see, students making progress or do well in school. And I will miss all of our staff, administrator and student greatly, and also miss being part of the Portland Public School team. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Visna.
You're welcome.
Are we all set? Kathy?
Yes, Rachel, thank you so much for those kind words. I enjoyed working at Lyseth and at Hall School as well when I moved to Maine, Portland, Maine, back in 1990. I will certainly miss the students and all the friends I made at school. And thank you again.
Our next school is Moore Middle School, and we have Principal Ben Donaldson in person.
Yeah.
Good evening, everyone. I had just asked Lori if she wanted to come up, and she said no, thank you. So Lori Piazzio has brought heart and humor to Lyman Moore for 17 amazing years. Colleagues, kids, and families have all benefited from interacting with this vibrant, committed, open, and funny educator in person. Lori, your contributions to Moore and to PPS are clear, and I hope you know and feel how much you are appreciated at Moore and beyond. In your colleagues' words, just a few. So Sarah Douglas, who is a dear friend and started with you, said, Lori and I were hired at LMMS together. While we learned the ins and outs of what it means to be a first-year teacher together, Lori also taught me the importance of laughter. Lori taught me to ask questions without fear of judgment. Her students are inquisitive learners, love her spunk, and at times are surprised by her enthusiasm. Lori accepts all those around her and meets them where they are. Lori has been a gift to me, to LMMS, and most importantly, to her students. We will miss her laughter, knowledge, and her welcoming arms. That was Sarah. And then Rob, who is another longtime colleague, said, I had the privilege of being on Lori's first team at Lyman Moore when she began her teaching career. Lori had decided to pursue her love of teaching later in life after her two children were in school. She brought the energy and enthusiasm of a first-year teacher, along with the maturity and wisdom of being a mom, which was a powerful and unique combination. Our team immediately came together in a wonderful way, and those years working together were some of the most rewarding of my career. Over the years, hundreds of students have benefited from Lori's creativity, love for reading and writing, and her high expectations. Dozens of staff members have also benefited from Lori's professionalism and willingness to say and do whatever was needed at the time. We all hope for joy and blessing as Lori moves on to the next chapter in her life. She will be missed by all of us at Moore. That was Rob Miller. So on behalf of the faculty, thank you so much, Lori. And on behalf of the kids and the families, thank you even more. Appreciate it.
Ms. Piazzio, do you want to say anything?
Thank you, Ben, for those really kind words and reaching out to my colleagues. That really means the most to me. Yes, this was my second career. I started teaching at the age of 40 after I realized being in the insurance industry was really boring. And what better place to have fun than with middle schoolers? And I chose middle school because I did not have a good middle school year or years, and I wanted to make it better for kids. And so I come into school every day and we laugh and I can relate to them, and I will miss the kids tremendously. And I will also miss my colleagues. I've made lifelong friends there. And lastly, I just want to say I've always been very grateful to work at the Portland Public Schools because of its diversity and culture. And I live in a town that there isn't a lot of that. And so I was very happy to be able to learn so many things about different people. And that was able to be done here in Portland. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Lori.
Next up is Ocean Avenue Elementary School with Principal Bev Stevens.
Hi, this is Beverly. Can you hear me?
We can.
Great. I'm here to talk a little bit about Anne-Marie Haskell. She is retiring at the end of this year. She is a calm and steady presence for our students. She really helps students meet their IP goals. Kids ask for her. And she, when the parents find out that Anne-Marie is going to be helping their child, they feel relieved and happy, and because they know it's going to go well because Anne-Marie is so caring. And she's impacted so many students along the way. It's not just students assigned to her. She's there for everyone, including the staff. In fact, when I came to Clifford School 13 years ago, she helped me too. She helped me get grounded and orientated and get my bearings. And I've trusted her ever since. She is loved by everyone and is a caretaker in her family. She's a wife, a mom, and a grandmom. And we just all thank you, Anne-Marie, for helping create the climate and the community at Ocean Ave. It's not going to be the same without you. We hope you get to come back and volunteer with us.
Special one for Portland Adult Education, Aaron Stunts, and our Assistant Superintendent.
Do all the pieces here. But so excited to recognize and honor Anita St. Ange for her leadership at Portland Adult Ed over the past 6 years. As it says here, as folks may know, Anita is an avid sailor and has plans to continue setting a sail as she departs Portland Public Schools. But she's picked up the baton at Portland Adult Ed over the past 6 years and led that organization and that part of our district to an immense growth. They've incredibly increased the revenue and programs that they have, grown the workforce programs, contributing to the greater Portland community in incredible ways, in addition to continuing to grow and serve really what is our biggest school in the district, and serving many of our adult English language learners to be welcomed into the state, begin to grow their English language skills, and become valuable members of our community. So Anita has really grown that part of our district and helped make it part of kind of our core body of work that we do, so that we serve pre-K through 12 and now all the way through adults as we continue to support all of our families in various ways. So we've been so grateful for Anita's leadership and hope she has great travels in her next chapter as she continues her sailing adventures around the world. Thank you.
And I don't see Anita in the panel, but I know that we will have time with Anita at our next board meeting, where we will have a board focus on Portland Adult Ed. So look forward to seeing Anita then.
For Presumscott Elementary School, Principal Angie Taylor.
Can you hear me?
We can.
Okay, great. So I'm here today to recognize Suzanne Keller. Suzanne, so I want to start by saying you're going to see two slides that are not in any way connected to what I'm going to say, because when I asked the Presumscott staff to say some great things about Suzanne Keller, and I told them it was two slides, they sent me back 20 slides. So I'll share that later with Suzanne, and I'll just summarize some of the things that were said. Suzanne has been at Presumscott for 20 plus years as a teacher and also as a library ed tech. She has changed so many children's lives by teaching them to read. And every time, I've been there 3 years, but every time she gets a student to the next level, it's as if she's never experienced it before, because she gets so excited about it. And as she gets excited about it, the students get excited about it, and they just want to, learn more and read more. And it's incredible. Her colleagues said many things about her, including that she is smart, she's passionate, and she's got an incredible sense of humor. One staff member wants to make sure that she remembers that she is Athena, the goddess of wisdom and humor. And this has been an ongoing thing with her and many of her colleagues. She's fierce. I think I said she's smart and she's passionate. The entire staff, there'll be a hole left when Suzanne Keller leaves at the end of this year because she's impacted so many. And I'll leave you with this. Just recently, as she was working with the third grade student, the student looked at her and said, "Suzanne, you really should be principal, not Angie." Maybe that's her next thing.
Suzanne.
Well, Angie, I wasn't going to say anything because I can talk in front of a whole room of kids, but speaking in front of adults is very challenging for me. But Thank you for making me laugh. And I just have to say, Presumpscott is a gem of a place. And I have met the most amazing adults and children and learned a lot from all of them. And as excited as I am about leaving, I am going to miss you and I'll be showing back up. Don't you worry. I'm going to get on that intercom. Thank you.
For Reiki Elementary School, we have Ms. Babinski and Ms. Dalton.
Hello, this is Annie Dalton. I'm going to speak first and then send it over to Lori. We are here today to recognize the amazing achievements of Yanni. She has been at our school for about 25 years. I had trouble picking a metaphor for today because I was going to say backbone, heart, or well-oiled machine. And so I'll use them all. She's a thoughtful leader. She's always looking for ways to improve our systems here at Reiki, which is a teacher-led school. She does it, and then she does it seamlessly, and she makes the school like a well-oiled machine. She's thoughtful. She's also kind. From solving foursquare disputes out on the playground to patiently reminding students to walk, Yanni is kind.
I've had the privilege of working with Yanni for 18 years, and this is a really bittersweet moment for me, but also an honor to share a few things about Yanni. We shared the same room for 2 years. We share a passion for reading. We also share September birthdays, which means we're Virgos, and we often chuckle about how like we are. Those Virgo traits have served her well. She has high expectations of herself and her students. That's seen in her meticulous planning and the way she quickly determines what a student needs, when to scaffold and when to step back and allow for productive struggle. She's never afraid to throw herself into a project, whether on the PD committee, planning an event, or working with a tricky student. She's a perfectionist, whether leading an orderly bus line or following the components and knowing the exact phonics principles. She will be truly, truly missed. She's my go-to or our go-to when we need a gentle yet firm demander with a student. She builds relationships, and those students leave knowing they are readers. And she's going to leave Nicole here at Reiki, but we're so excited that she's ready for this next step. And we hope her the very best. So on behalf of Reiki students and staff and families, thank you for all the lives you've touched.
I see Yanni is in the audience or in the panel. Yanni, would you like to say something?
Sure. Thank you, Annie, and thank you, Lori and Ted, for that matter, for this wonderful send-off, official send-off. 5 years ago, or in 1997, I had a 5-year plan, and it turned into 25 years. So at the same school. So that is really, that is really something about telling. It's really telling about the school. And thank you for taking out the time for this send-off. I know we have a cultural, multicultural potluck happening right now in the playground. So Annie and Lori, go back and get some chow before the rest of this meeting, before this meeting ends. Thank you to all who contributed. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Kirchhoff.
Principal Barb Fletcher for Rowe Elementary School.
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me?
We can, Barb.
Okay, great. So it is my true honor and pleasure to be here tonight to speak on behalf of Ann Nordstrom and Laura Carton, who are our row retirees. Hopefully you have the slides there to be able to see. So I'll start. I can't remember who was first.
We're getting there.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you. Wonderful. Okay, so I will start with Ann. Ann is just starting with my own personal, my own personal connection. Obviously I've only known Ann for about 3 years, but she has just been an incredible rock and mentor to me as, a new principal coming into a building. Ann had been in the building for a long time prior to me being there. And just as a wonderful, positive, incredible human being, it's certainly been a pleasure working with her over the years. Ann began her journey as an educator 24 years ago. As an adult education teacher in Portland. Ann has since served in a variety of teacher and ed tech roles at Lincoln Middle School and most recently at Hall Row. Ann has added tremendous value to our school community as a highly skilled literacy and math instructor. She is also a respected colleague, dedicated mentor, and passionate educator. Some comments and thoughts from Row staff about Ann are as follows, and these are not completely inclusive because we could go on and on for pages and pages. Ann is admired for wealth of knowledge, wisdom, patience, perseverance, and dedication to students. Ann is kind, thoughtful, and full of fun with a sly sense of humor, an infectious smile. And I can just reiterate that 1,000 times. And smile and just joy is truly admirable to be around. Ann is kind, friendly, welcoming, and genuinely cares about her colleagues and her students. Ann has been called the reading whisperer and is quick to see the strengths in all students. Children who have learned from Ann have experienced joy, engagement, high achievement, and strong personal connection. Thanks for your care and all the care you've shown our students and community over the years, Ann. You will truly be missed. And our other retiree is Laura Carton. And again, just a tremendous human being that is truly been a pleasure and honor to work with at Row over the last 3 years. You'll notice that Laura has a new grandbaby in this picture, so she'll be spending some of her retirement with that baby. Laura began her journey as an educator in 2006 after original careers in finance and a stay-at-home mom. Laura started at Hall, first as a volunteer and substitute in the library, and was hired shortly afterward as a full-time library ed tech. Laura has served the Hall Row community in this role ever since. Laura has added tremendous value to our school community as the spearheader of our walking school bus program, connector of community through literature, dedicated colleague, and enthusiastic educator. Some comments and thoughts from our staff are as follows. Laura goes above and beyond to help students find books they love and assist teachers with finding literature connected to instruction and projects. Laura is caring, thoughtful, and creates meaningful relationships with students, colleagues, and families. Laura is admired for her calm, steadfast presence and demeanor. Children who have interacted with Laura have experienced enjoyment of literature, engagement in language, and curiosity for new learning, along with being very well nurtured. Laura is one in a million, and the void of her absence will be immense. Thanks for all you have done to make the library a refuge for our community, Laura. You will truly be missed.
I believe that Ann is with us.
Yes, I am. And thank you so much, Barb. That was so kind of you. I'm so thrilled and honored to be retiring with Laura. I love the Row community so much. They are the best colleagues you could ever ask for. And the kids are beyond compare. We love them dearly. Thank you so much, Barb.
And I see Laura has also joined us. Laura?
Thank you so much for those kind words, Barb. And I am it's been a career that I should have started long ago. And as another retiree said, insurance, should have gotten into education much sooner. And it's been great working with you too. And Barb, you're a wonderful leader, and I am very pleased to have gotten this great send-off from everyone. I thank you very much.
And last but not the least, Talbot Elementary School with Principal Anhan.
Thanks, Grace. Hello, everyone. It's an honor for me to recognize and celebrate 3 people from Talbot who are retiring at the end of this year. First, Susan Doane. Susan has been a member of the Riverton Talbot Community School for 28 years. She spent her first 6 years as a special education ed tech before transitioning into the role of Talbot's library ed tech. Susan has done an outstanding job over the years reading stories and bringing books to life for children and helping them pick out that just right book. All of the different librarians that she's worked with over the years would agree about how much they valued Susan's ability to organize the library and keep track of library materials and make sure that the library environment was a welcoming, enjoyable space for children. I had a chance to speak to a few third graders recently about Mrs. Doane's plan to retire, and here is what one student said. Mrs. Doane is the best library teacher. She reads the best stories I never heard before, and she always helps kids find the books they needed, and she knows exactly where they are. She is nice and kind, and I am sad that she will be gone. All of the staff at Talbot are going to miss Susan's quick sense of humor and informed commentary about anything political. Plus, I know I could always count on Susan to jump in and lend a hand in the office no matter what the situation. In fact, she stepped in and offered to cover my crossing duty this morning when she noticed I wasn't feeling at my best. Susan, our Talbot family just won't be the same without you. Have lots of fun in your retirement. Come back and visit us often and help out in the office whenever you would like. The next person that I have the privilege to recognize tonight is Mary Ellen Gillis, who has been at Talbot for just the past 3 years as a team leader in the kitchen. But Mary Ellen started as a substitute back at Reiki Elementary School in 1993. She worked there for nearly a year before she was hired on permanently the next year. And over the years, Mary Ellen has worked at 4 different schools and has participated in the summer meals program. She is retiring after 28 years of service, during which time she has served countless numbers of school lunches to many children, always with a positive attitude and a smile on her face. And Talbot has been lucky to have you these last few years, and we are going to miss those creative ways that you decorated the kitchen to make lunch even more enjoyable and fun for the children. And the last person to honor here tonight is Lori Corthy. Lori has been a special education ed tech at Riverton Talbot for 26 years. She will be fondly remembered by staff and students for her incredible kindness, patience, calm, and professional demeanor. All Talbot staff members would agree that the number one thing we know about Lori is that she is highly skilled as being a child whisperer who somehow is able to put students at ease in any situation. Lori's ability to build relationships with students was at the heart of whatever she did at Talbot, and she had a way of making connections with the students who needed it the most. Lori has been a devoted and hardworking educator who's done an amazing job supporting many students in their academic progress. And here is what one of the students said about Lori. The student said, "Mrs. Corthy is so nice and always helps me with my schoolwork. She used to give me goldfish when I didn't have snack, and I'm going to miss that." And another student said, "I like how she uses a really quiet voice." The staff and the students at Talbot wish Lori all the best in her retirement. Lori, you will be missed. Please enjoy all the time you can with your family. So thank you to Susan, to Mary Ellen, and to Lori. We appreciate your dedication to Talbot School, to our staff, to the families and the students, and we wish you all a very happy retirement. And we look forward to celebrating with you in person at school at our end of the year staff lunch next week.
Thank you very much to all our retirees for your many years of service in Portland Public Schools. Congratulations and enjoy your fun time with your retirement.
Can I just have us give all of them a hand? It's so awkward that we're I do very much look forward to a day when we're all together in community as opposed to sort of, hybrid and in person. But I also just want to extend my gratitude to all of the retirees. As I said at the beginning, over 800 years of service to Portland Public Schools is just, a huge contribution to this community. And we're so incredibly grateful for everything that you've done and everything that you've given over the years. And we wish you nothing but the best in retirement. And we hope you'll be incredibly happy, but also looking forward to having you come back and help in any way that you see fit in the future. So just thank you very much to all of our retirees. Thank you to our principals for those moving words about each of our retirees, and to our team for pulling together this event. Thank you very much. And that's great.
Excellent. It's truly humbling to hear all that our retirees have given to Portland Public Schools. Congratulations.